went with the single axle vehicle first?
Yeah, I'm glad you got around to that because that is kind of a story that I enjoy telling. Around North Carolina, or not North Carolina, but in the Raleigh market, which is the market we started in, we have these things throughout the county, throughout Wake County, called convenience centers or convenience sites. Essentially, it's a drop-off area where you can bring stuff, but it's only supposed to be for residents and homeowners. You're not supposed to do it commercially. So, we had our polo shirts. We were looking all, fancy and in full and uniform. And then on the trailer, it only allowed single axle. You couldn't have a dual axle trailer. So that's the reason I got a single axle. The trailer, we took these chloroplast signs, and they look pretty good. We would bolt them on the side of the trailer, and we bolted it onto the tailgate of the trailer. And we would show up at a customer's house in uniform with these signs on. Would load everything up. We'd leave, go a couple miles down the road or whatever. Before we got to the landfill or the dump, these convenience center sites, we pull into a gas station, we change our shirts, we take our signs off the trailer or whatever, and we go off these convenience sites and dump for free. And we did that for, I don't know, a year and a half or something.
Okay.
And that's the reason we went with the single axle trailer, though.
I like that, man. That's a hustler right there.
Yeah.
Very smart. Very smart. So I want to now move on because I know that you've got a couple businesses under your belt that involve junk removal, and I want to kind of find out how they came about. And one of them being JRA, Junk Removal Authority. Tell me what's that all about, and how did that all come about?
Yeah, so what we say with JRA is we're the digital marketing agency for $1 million junk removal and dumpster rental companies and those that want to get there. So we've got a lot of $1 million, 7-figure plus junk removal companies under our wing that have worked with us for many, many years. Many of those have actually surpassed us at Junk Doctors. We do about 3 million. We've got guys doing 4 million and 6 million and just doing awesome. But so we focus a lot on the marketing side now. And initially, when it was first envisioned, we do some of this now. It was first envisioned. It was me debating between franchising Junk Doctors and creating what I consider to be a franchise alternative. So I had spent maybe a year and a half looking into franchising Junk Doctors, but there was already several companies doing it. You had obviously Got Junk, Junk King was doing it then. College Hunks, Holland Junk was doing it. There were a few others that had gotten approved for franchising at that point. And it seemed like it just started to kind of stall out at after like Junk King, College Hunks. It lost a lot of the momentum. And since then, the only other one that's actually done okay with it is Junk Luggers. Luggers, they started franchising, I think, in about 2020 or so, somewhere in there. I think I'd already started JRA, but they started franchising, which is interesting because actually we modeled a lot of the Junk Doctor site, the original Junk Doctor, well, not the original, but the Junk Doctor site from like 2016. We modeled a lot of that off Junk Luggers, who at that time was a regional player up in Connecticut and New York. And I'd followed their stuff. I was always very impressed with what Luggers had done from a branding standpoint, and we kind of emulated a lot of that. But with JRA, what we said is, all right, hey, there's some good things with franchising. All right, you get the branding. That's awesome. You get a professional look. You get all the initial training. You get the support right when you start. It makes you feel like, hey, I've got somebody that is looking after me, that's showing me the ropes and how this works. And it's going to speed up the process for me to be successful. So I'm like, all right, that's great. But on the other side of things, we've got this thing that kind of sucks, which is the fact that they are giving you territorial restrictions. If you buy like 500,000 population, you buy 500,000 population or two, and you're going to have an initial franchise fee depending on what you buy into, a 60 grand or 100 grand, or Got Junk at one point, I think it was up to 200,000 before they just ran out of territories to sell.
Yeah, I have a question. What is the average franchise cost these days?
I have not looked recently. I don't know how many of them are selling at this point in the junk space. I think Junk Luggers is somewhere around 75 grand or something. J-Dog, if they're still selling them, they were always a lot less. It was a completely kind of different model for them. But you had a big upfront. But honestly, the upfront wasn't the largest detractor. It was the fact that, you had to send 10 to 15% back to the mothership. in terms of royalties, or they'll say royalties, contact fees, and they'll make up this thing called a national advertising fund. And it'll amount.
Is that like annual? Is that an annual charge that they put on you? Like every year you're paying a fee?
It's a percentage of your revenue, and you're going to pay out those royalties monthly. So, for example, when you first start out, it's not a huge deal, because let's say you do $100,000 in business, back the $100,000 to keep it easy. So you'd pay out like 15 grand in royalties. It's not a lot of money, but we've got a consultant that works with us that helps people out. Sam Schick, he built up the company to $10 million a year. It was a Got Junk franchise, and he was sending back 16%. So he was sending back 1.6 million every single year. It's off the top line too, to Got Junk. So I didn't like that model, but I saw the positives of the support. So I'm like, all right, let's provide the what we call the business package. We still offer that. We still sell a decent number each year, really, to help people get started. And so let's get people the operations manuals. We got an awesome video training series that, honestly, I've been told from people that seen the Got Junk stuff that it's better than the Got Junk stuff, which is good. It took forever to make, and it cost a bunch of money to make it. But and then we got the ongoing support, and basically we just kind of hold people's hand to get them started and get them going. But after that first year, you know just about everything at that point. I mean, there's going to be some things the people call us up and ask us, but a lot after the first year. You've gotten the confidence to really tackle the things on your own. And I think that's great. And the other thing we did is the marketing services, which even if you have a franchise, you still have to hire a marketing company. They'll do a little bit for you, but you're still hiring a marketing agency. So that's not like something they're generally providing for you. So, and then if we don't perform, hey, kick us out. That was our approach, where you're not tied into this 5-year bear of a, franchise contract. Oh, and hey, by the way, when you go to sell your business, which Sam found this out the hard way, when you go to sell your business, people hate the fact, if they're not already in it, that every single one of them has a line in there saying that the franchisor could cancel the contract or choose not to renew the contract at the end of the term. So you're like, you build a $10 million a year junk removal business that's netting, say, $2 million a year. It's probably worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $15 to $20 million at that point, once you get to that size, when you go off and sell it. But now you can't really get your full valuation, because there's certain people that don't want to buy it because of the risk. Who wants to spend $20 million on something that somebody can decide they want to cancel here, when the contract's up?
Yeah. Wow.